How's everybody doing today? It's Matt here. It's Lazy Octopus Gaming, and it's for you guys at least. It's Friday, and that means it's the Hot Pot Podcast.
Hot
Pot Podcast. You guys can say that with me. It's okay.
So hot.
It's really, really hot.
Yeah.
There's a decent chance I'll have to take my headphones off in the middle of this and take my shirt off because I'm already sweating. It's been about 30 seconds since we've sat down and started recording this.
I look forward to that.
I know no one's going to ever see it, though, because we don't take video because my webcam is really, really bad, and none of Thomas's computers work.
My computer. I'm having a computer crisis, dude. I feel like the Dark Ages.
You dark? So,
But I have a
like I said,
PlayStation, though, so Metal Gear
yeah,
Solid.
you have a what?
But I do have a PlayStation working, so it's going to be Metal Gear Solid for a while.
That's good.
You can play some Overwatch on there.
Or if I wanted to go console Overwatch, I guess I could.
Yeah, we can also play Diablo together, little Diablo 3 together, like I'm doing a Let's Play for every single week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. New Diablo episodes come out. Watch it, subscribe, like, be wonderful.
We already lost like anybody who was going to listen to this. No.
I know, right? It's terrible, but like I said, I'm Matt. We're Lazy Octopus Gaming.
I'm Andrew.
Foley, you want to say?
I'm
Tomas, yeah. So, every week, the three of us get on some computers of some sort. We chat for about an hour, and we talk about, a little bit about ourselves, what we've been up to this week. We talk about video games. We talk about, other media, and the final thing we have is a rotating hot pot topic. But we don't tell you guys.
Rotating makes it sound like it comes back around.
Oh, you're right. Well, they might come back. They might.
What would be the
A
word
random
instead of rotating?
topic.
Yeah.
I guess like a random topic would probably be a better way to put it.
Like a dart the side of a building.
Yeah, we randomly choose something and talk about it once a week. It
This is
changes
fun.
though. Well, keeps things interesting for you guys, and we try to keep them as great as possible. But I can tell you, at least for me, I've been playing a lot of WoW. First and foremost, because the pre-patch just came out, which is a time period before the new expansion comes out, but they've already updated like the world to be the new expansion. You just can't do any of the new content, and they slowly drip feed you. Oh, that was a bad burp. I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Are you supposed to bless people for burps? I thought that was only for sneezes.
I don't know. It's just a thing that I've been doing recently.
Oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with it.
You are blessed.
A little bit of love going around.
people don't
It's
get-
the
people
love
don't season that.
connection. So it's that time period between when basically all the new stuff gets pushed and the expansion comes out, and it's great for that because it allows you to get used to your classes. They usually have some catch-up mechanics, so you can get some new gear, and right now we're finally back to not good WoW storylines. I mean, WoW's wonderful and I love it. The writing can be hit or miss at times, but at least we're finally back to faction warfare. I prefer that to the demons are coming to destroy the world. You must save the entire universe. You're the army of light, the last hope of the world. This is, well, if we don't go invade this area in 100
Those
100
guys
years,
over there, fuck them.
yeah, that's much better. I prefer that. Maybe I'm in the minority. I'm not going to get into the conundrum if the Horde's on the right or the Horde are evil. They're probably evil, but we don't know yet. Kind
Oh,
of makes
really?
me sad.
I kind of was of the opinion. I always thought that they were trying to paint the Horde as like kind of a sympathetic. But
One would have
Yeah, kind of.
One would have thought that years ago, and they did that for a long time. And then Garrosh Hellscream came about, and that changed. And they've been a lot more warmongering now. Sylvanas is the Sylvanas Windrunner. The Banshee Queen is the war chief, and we'll see
dibs.
what happens. You're gonna dibs. You want to dibs the undead?
She's
the
got
undead
special.
snatch.
She got special privilege.
A special privilege. So that's what I've been up to. I've been doing that, and I've been playing a lot of MTG, Magic the Gathering, Arena. We'll get back to that later. I know we're going to talk about that under our video game section, but I have been playing a bunch of that as well. Thomas, what have you been up to?
Well, so since my computer is not working, it's just Phantom Pain for me. It is a nice revisit because I missed
And Diablo.
and Diablo. I will be playing some Diablo. I haven't yet, but I have been playing some Phantom Pain.
It's been fun.
But I will say that I kind of want to go back and play some of the old MGS games. I was thinking about speedrunning it, but the thing is, with speedrunning that is it's kind of a long speedrun. No one's going to watch that, but I might do it for your own benefit.
For which game?
Any of the Metal Gear Solid games, either one or two, I'm not sure yet.
You can
always
always
one
fan
of the
Which
order
runs?
the solid ones like the PS1 or PS2 one. Or maybe
Okay.
Phantom Pain, but I'm not as good as a lot of people who play Phantom Pain.
You should definitely record some speed runs and upload them, because I know I sure as fuck cannot do a speed run of anything. So getting someone who can do those is pretty cool. I've seen you do what I think some of the Mario games, and it's really fun to watch you do those.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I could do a Mario one or a Meat Boy one. Those would be pretty fun. Yeah, so let's see what's up on the horizon for that.
Yeah, it depends what kind of time you got. So that's what you've been up to,
What about you,
Mr.
Frollo?
Frodola.
Hello. So, not a huge amount. I'm trying to think what I even did this weekend. God. But one thing I can talk about is that I did start watching Voltron, like the new one by DreamWorks, and I would dare say that this might be pushing it, but it's, if you like Avatar: The Last Airbender, you'd probably very much so like Voltron. It's got a lot of like that witty humor. I feel like the one character is almost like the predecessor of Sokka, which is awesome.
You watch like the old school one or the new one that's on Netflix?
The new one that's on Netflix, the one that was made by DreamWorks and like specifically made for Netflix.
Now, how could
It's
you do this?
so
to me?
good. It's
How could
so
you do this
good.
to me? I've told you before you need to watch Gundam 00, and you just ignore me.
Well,
you ignore me some
because-
more, and you watch a different mecha in its place. My heart hurts.
I know,
I'm gonna
but
cry.
this has
You're
comedy.
gonna make me cry.
Like this, Double O is like politics, and you know, like this is realistic warfare using mechs. Where like
Realistic is in quotations.
Frollo,
there,
It
everybody.
is.
animated.
But this is a story about a bunch of absolute failure pilots getting dumb luck and getting giant freaking lions that can fly through space and destroy literally anything, and a princess that I'm convinced is an actual sociopath.
Okay, maybe I'll have to
Frollo,
circle
It's
maybe
back.
fun.
this just speaks to Frollo more somehow.
Just because it's funny. It's very funny. I like it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I had a great
That's good.
time.
I know we all played some Diablo just for funsies over the weekend, which was fun. Thank you guys for playing with me on that.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
I know we played some Fortnite.
I actually
love
was
you.
kind of digging the Diablo. It was pretty fun.
It was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, I think that's really all about us for this week. So we can move on to our first thing, which is video games. Whee! So we have three things we're going to talk about for video games. The first one is, I think, only really I'm interested, but Blizzard's going to be releasing three short films called The Warbringers. The trailer for it came out a couple weeks ago, but the first one came out today, or I think it might have been yesterday actually, for Jaina Proudmoore. And if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it, even if you're not a big WoW person. It plays a lot like a animated comic book. It's really pretty. It's really sad. It's all about Jaina finally going back and listening to what her father originally wanted to do years and years ago. And yeah, her being upset about that and deciding that it's time for her to stop just letting people do what they want and making sure she can actually help and save her people. So it's really pretty. It's really
That
beautiful.
sounds good.
I think her voice actress is Laura Bailey, if I remember correctly. I can double check on that. Who I know you love, Mr. Frollo.
Yes. I do love Laura Bailey.
I'm pretty certain it is her, but I'm not totally sure. And yeah, that was that. I mean, there's nothing really more to say other than if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go watch it. You can find it on YouTube. It's just search Warbringers Jaina. You can find it on Blizzard's website. It's all over the place. It's really cool. It's worth a watch. It's like 5 minutes, so not a big deal. That's it
Nice.
for that. Number
I
two,
will check that out.
because I know none of you guys probably have anything else to say on that, is
No.
Fortnite's first anniversary began today.
Yay!
Ooh.
So
we have
what's going
started
on with
playing
that?
We have. So I know there's some extra challenges, so you can get some more battle stars and some other stuff on there, but there's really two bigger deals that have been going on right now. The first one is for scrubs like us, newbie scrubs, is that when you knock somebody down with a weapon, it now counts as a kill, And if you switch weapons and kill them with a different weapon, you'll get a kill count for both of them.
Nice.
So now,
Oh wow!
which is nice
So you
because
get
before
the actual one and then the literal one.
exactly. So like if you take somebody down with a SMG, but then you kill them with the sniper rifle, you'll get one SMG and one sniper kill.
Thank God,
Now, if
because
you
the freaking grenade kill challenge was impossible unless you knocked them down and then grenaded them.
50-50, baby.
So it's like quantum kill count. You get both.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. But I mean, if you let's say you knock somebody down with an assault rifle and then kill them with the assault rifle, you will only get one in that case.
Okay.
At least that's my understanding of it. But there's that. The other thing is that the Fortnite meta apparently has drastically changed. Where I don't know how often you guys are on the subreddit for Fortnite or have played in the past couple days, but they introduced the P90 submachine gun.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
I think I did see that actually.
And it's completely fucking broken.
Well, it's pretty strong in other games in general.
It's
It's usually pretty rapid.
It's if you had to choose between a gold SCAR and a gold P90, you take the gold P90 right now 100 times out of 100.
Really? That's
For
impressive.
for close range, for mid range, and for long range.
And long range, that's a little.
And long range. Yeah, they kind of messed
weird.
something up.
So the spread is not. Is the spread not behaving right or what?
I don't know if it's the spread's not behaving
ultra dense.
right, but this whatever it is that
Maybe is there no
it
damage
just
fall off?
rips it rips through people, and it's a pain in the butt because these people will have like pretty decent like blue or better sniper rifle shotguns, and they'll like shotgun you in the head, and then they're reloading. Someone comes around with an SMG, destroys them. The shotguns are not doing enough damage anymore.
Hey, I kind of
So-
like that. I'm tired. I want some shotgun diversity, dude.
Well, I mean, the shotgun. No one uses shotguns right now. Shotguns are hot garbage.
I kind of like that. I don't
They
like
need,
the
to
shotgun.
be, they need to be a little bit better. Like, it's not even worthwhile picking up a shotgun to some degree, I feel like, right now.
Oh, really?
That I heard I haven't looked at all the patch notes, but I think they, that they nerfed building HP as well, so it's easier to blow things up, which makes it so it's less of a build meta, like it was before, so you're not going to be seeing as many of these crazy buildings being built, which is good for us newer players, but it does decrease the high-end skill cap
Probably
a bit.
pisses some of the old players off, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, because if you're able to build these high-end, really nice buildings, it gives you a huge advantage compared to newer players, and they're kind of evening that out.
What it
So
looks like to me, from a player who is super scrub at Fortnite, the end game seems to be always like giant towers. It's just like the last few people are battling in some fucking spiral tower staircase, and it's just like every time.
Yeah, some kind of crazy chaos.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch that if you're like for streamers and stuff, because good streamers can do it so
This
well.
is
unlike
visually
us,
interesting.
but it makes it hard for other people to win games or even get close. So maybe with this new meta, we'll actually be able to win a game or two because we still have yet to win
Maybe.
one.
Yeah, we've never won
Aw.
one.
Polo's
haven't you
got
been
a
playing?
chicken
Haven't
in PUBG.
have you been destroying people in PUBG Mobile?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm still
absolutely.
destroying people in PUBG Mobile. It's wonderful. It's actually works really, really well, but I might just be saying that because I feel like I'm pretty good at it, and it's nice.
Are there duos in that game?
Yeah, and quads.
Ooh, maybe we'll have to download it. One of my buddies plays that. We can always maybe play together.
I have it.
That'd be
The
fun.
hotkeys looked intimidating. The entire screen had buttons when I was
Yeah.
going to set it up.
Yeah. I hear that there's like some kind of controller that you can get to use with it, I think.
What?
So I've thought about maybe
Yeah.
doing that because I actually been enjoying playing it during my break. It's nice that it's free.
Yeah, you can get like a bunch. You can get them for like $15. My buddy who plays it a bunch on mobile has that controller.
Mm.
He says it makes him so much better than other people.
Oh,
my
if
God.
you could just figure out a way to do mouse and keyboard on there.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Just like have an
There is a way
entire
to do it.
mouse and keyboard like sitting at like on the train and have like a clip with your cell phone in it.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
that it would be. But Fortnite's fantastic. I love Fortnite so much. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like it as much. Like, oh, we're starting to YouTube stuff. We should do some Fortnite. It's so much fun. Everyone should play it. It's just so
It
much
is.
fun.
It's really fun. It's way more fun than I thought it would be. But yeah,
Yeah.
do we want to switch over to number 3 of video games?
No. Oh yes. So the last topic we're talking about in video games is we're talking about MTG Arena, which is Magic the Gathering. It's their new, basically not Hearthstone killer, but it's basically their equivalent to Hearthstone, where it's a little more cartoony than their current product, which is MTG Online.
That's what I was
which is
wishing for when
terrible.
Hearthstone was announced, and it happened.
What?
And it's like what we were wishing for when Hearthstone was announced. When Hearthstone
Yeah.
came out, it's
Yeah.
like, why is there nothing like this for Magic? And it's actually
And-
Magic.
And yep, it's actually Magic now. I know we've all got to play it a little bit, but I kind of want your guys' thoughts on it and how you guys like it compared to Hearthstone. Because I know we've all played Hearthstone at least a reasonable amount.
Fuller, what do you think?
No, I completely agree. I'm so excited about it. One of my biggest complaints so far is that whenever my opponent is slow playing, I really need things that I can click and mess around with in the background, like they have in Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
Oh, the
Hearthstone.
little map
Whatever.
details.
Yeah, like I love those things. I love that I can just poke random stuff and things move, and I want that. I need that. Like that's important to me.
Oh, I hadn't considered that. That's an interesting. But that is fun. I do like that in Hearthstone.
We will notate that it is still in closed beta, so anything we do will get wiped out before that, and things are still updating on a every other month kind of manner. So
Yeah.
just
I
bringing
think
that up.
I was surprisingly happy with it, and it felt very Hearthstone-y in a polished sort of way, in the sense like the voiceover sounded good. They had little banter for when they throw out cards and stuff in the tutorial.
Yeah.
and that was
How do you guys like the tutorial? Because I never played the tutorial because I had already played the game and I know Magic well enough, and I had no need or desire to actually play it. But what did you guys think of the tutorial?
I
overall?
love the tutorial.
I loved it.
I considered skipping it, but I wanted to do it just for get an idea of the interface. And they did something cool. I mean, they showed combat in like episode 4 of the tutorial. I think they showed some combat tricks which newer players probably wouldn't see until they get stomped by them by other players. So it's kind of neat to show. And you have a little wisp walking you through it.
Yeah.
And it was like, so they showed you how to do like they did a block stack on you, so they block you, so the damage doesn't go through. But then they showed like some goblin grenade trick. That's a sorcery speed though, but they did some
still
block stack stuff, and they did
It teaches you those things that I know. For me, when I was learning it, it was mostly you and then our other buddy Jason would do something like, "You can't do that. That's so cheaty." You're like, "Nope, here's the rule." I'm like, "Oh, you can do that." No, but I'm gonna lose if you do that.
Right?
I was gonna win.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they're doing a lot of combat tricks, and so they show you when and how it happens, so you are aware that it's possible, and you don't have that feels bad moment. You know what I mean? So it's built into it, so you know it going in. I think I thought that was really clever and smart, so that you get a pretty good grasp of like the depth. And there are a lot compared to Hearthstone. To be honest, there is a lot more you can do in Magic. So it's as a game, seeing this go forward, I think it'd be kind of neat because there's a lot of fun combat tricks. There's not just in Hearthstone. It's pretty much one phase. You play cards and you attack.
Yeah, where here in Magic you can respond to things that people do. The timer, I really like the timer system. I know you guys haven't played as much as I have, but the timer system's fantastic. So as you play faster and you don't go into your timer, you get basically a bigger bank of time. So when you do have to go into the tank because you're doing something more complex, you're trying to figure out what to do, it gives you more basically timeouts to complete things. So when you're roping, as they call it in Hearthstone, you don't have to worry about nearly as much in Magic because it's literally how much time you have banked. Everyone starts off with one timeout, and the faster you play, the more time you banked, which is particularly great for the control decks later on. So for those who don't know, control decks are decks you're going to play probably more really big creatures, you're going to play more spells, you're going to try to control the flow of the game, and then eventually play something that they can't deal with and end the game that way. But for those games, for those kind of decks, a lot of times you don't do as much in the early game. So it's really, you draw, you play a land, you pass your turn a lot of times. Draw go. I know Tom is a big fan of that.
Oh, draw go is my jam. And one of the tutorial decks, the guys, like the computer's playing against me, I'm like, man, I'd be playing that. He's playing Windstrat right now. I call it Windstrat. He was playing Windstrat against me. question. So how does the timing work? Because I've only done the tutorial. Is it like a tournament where you have a certain amount of time, or
Yes and no. I mean, they changed it recently for people to play like crazy combo decks with, because before, if you're doing something crazy and there were just a ton of triggers, you'd blow through all of your time. But basically the way it is you have everyone starts off with one timeout, and you have so much time for each phase, and once you use up too much of that time, it starts basically a timer starts going around your character. If it goes all the way through, and then you lose, that means you've lost your timeout, and if it does it one more time, you just lose the game for slow playing.
Oh, so it actually keeps track of slow play in like a measurable way. Which
Exactly.
Is
As you play, and if you play your turns faster than that, though, you start banking time, and you can get more timeouts. Most of my games, I've been playing lots of aggro decks or more aggressive, fast decks. Red Deck Wins is my main standard deck right now that I've been playing. Oh yeah. I usually will end games, longer games too, with maybe 3 or 4. I think usually 3 timeouts banked in there. So it makes it really easy. And if for some reason I'm having more complex play, or I have to sit down, really go into the tank and be like, okay, I have this on the board, they have that on the board. Here's how many lands they haven't tapped. What do I need to do to win? I have the time to I can spend a bit of time and figure out what I need to do and not have to feel bad because I was playing faster earlier on. So it really helps push people who are trying to figure out their turns in advance compared to people who are doing it right at the last second. So
yeah,
I really like it. I think it's fantastic. And we haven't even gotten to this yet, but drafting is the greatest thing on there. For those of you that don't know what Magic drafting is, the way it works in real life is usually go to a game store, and it's usually $15 for a draft, and you get 3 packs of Magic cards.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit in a group of 8 or a pod. Sometimes it's more, but it's usually 8. Everyone opens their packs up, and they go through their packs. They take one card that they want, they put it in their pile, and they pass the remaining, I think it's 14 cards, off to the next person in the line. You then get that pack that was passed to you. You choose a card, you go around, and you do that for all 3 of your packs. Once you have all 3 of those packs opened, you can then build a 40-card deck with it, and you play like a mini tournament. And it's one of the best things to do, especially for newer players who know enough to get through a game of Magic but don't really have the cards for it. It's fantastic because in the real game and in paper Magic, you get to take your cards home with you. And if you win, you get more. In MTG Arena, it's pretty cheap. It's to be able to do. You can do 1 draft a week, no problem, if you just do your standard daily quests. Or if you want to spend a bit of money, I think it's like $250 to do a draft. But in those drafts, same thing, you get your 3 packs. You're drafting against AI, though, which is fantastic because the AI loves to pass rares. Usually they're junky rares, but they also apparently have a very high chance of passing rare dual lands, which are always fantastic and hard to get.
Oh, yeah.
Really powerful for 2-card decks. So
good.
It's fantastic. I've done 1 draft. I went 7-1 in the draft. I want to show you guys my draft deck at some point.
Yeah, please do.
I was wrecking fools. It was great. I started
awesome.
I started by my first pack 1, pick 1. I open it up, and the first thing there, red-green Planeswalker. I was like, I know what colors I'm going, boys.
That's awesome.
And that Planeswalker did work. She was a 4-mana Planeswalker, so 2 green, red. Yeah, 2 red, green. 4 starting loyalty. Her +1 ability gave one of my creatures double strike till end of turn, and then her -2 ability, I could deal 2 damage divided as I choose. So there were a lot of games where I would play her, -2 her, blow something up, next turn play like I think probably the MVP of my draft deck, my 4/4 Vigilance Reach dudes that cost 5 mana, which I can curve straight into perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Give it double strike, and the next turn you start attacking with 4/4 double striker, Vigilance Reach.
Yeah.
So it protects her against flyers. I can attack, and I can still block later on.
Wait, do they keep that, or is that for the turn?
Just till the end of turn.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the first turn you play, it's not a big deal, but a 4/4 on turn 5, or even sometimes turn 3 if I got a ramp card, was extremely useful in those. So I did great, played red-green Stompy, just stomped on people.
What's our ultimate one?
It's -7, search your library for 2 creature cards or planeswalkers and put them into play. I never even got close to that.
Yeah, that's not what she's for, probably.
No, she's there to drop her down. You're going to blow something up to protect her, probably. or if you already have something out you can start attacking with, you're going to
Big
give a double
biggie.
strike. Yeah. I mean, if you have a let's say a 3/2 out and you give a 3/2 double strike on turn 4
Mm.
in draft, that's a pretty big threat already. I mean, it was
That's
nice that a few
over-
games.
Over a quarter of your life.
Exactly. I mean, I had 2 of these cards that were 5/4s with menace, so they can only be blocked by 2 more creatures. I mean, you give one of those double strike, you need 2 creatures to block it. It was there were a couple turns they only had 1 creature out on the field, and I had a 5/4 double striker with menace.
Even that's crazy because even on a 3/2 guy, if you're curving into that really fast, you're giving them it's like kind of soft, but you're giving them a 4-turn clock that they have to deal with. Is basically you're putting a lot of pressure pretty early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's just with a 3/2. I don't even think I had any 3/2s in the deck. I mean, I had a lot of lower stuff that was more defensive, like the actual MVP of my deck was a bear. It was a 1 green cat. Casting cost was 1 in green. It was a 1/3, but when it dies, you get to draw a card. And in a kind of rampy, more big things deck, early on, it stops. And all their 2/1s, so you're playing an aggro deck, all those 2/1s it stops in their tracks. All the 2/2s, it just stops in their tracks. And when you eventually later on have to chump block, you mean I'm going to chump block here? I've already gotten all the value I need out of this guy, and he's going to protect my planeswalker, and then I get to draw a card? Why, thank you. So, it was fantastic. It made me happy. The one thing that was sad was the one game I lost. It was because I misplayed. It was my own fault.
Oh, that's what you were texting me about.
Yeah.
You record your games? I want to watch your games back.
I haven't. I'm going to start probably whenever I draft to record my drafts.
What's nice about MTG Arena is if you use plays.tv or whatever, it makes it way easy to go back and look at your games, and so it's easier to analyze your plays, so you can see oh, here I could have done this instead, and it's it's hard to do that with paper games as well. But it's totally possible, and
I didn't think about
huge. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's closed beta now. We'll let you guys know when it finally does go into open beta, but you just can't beat playing a bit of Magic the Gathering. I mean, it's so much, in my opinion, better than Hearthstone, just because it's so much more complex. There's more stuff you can do. It's more interactive. I have to be much more careful with what my opponent's doing, and I can play things to purposely mess with your opponent. It does cause some feel bad moments at times, but you have to learn pretty quickly if you're going to stay with Magic that you're going to lose, you're going to get mana screwed, and that's okay.
It happens. And there's more, I think it's safe to say there's more mind tricks in Magic, because in Hearthstone, there's a little bit, you have to know what they have and play around it, yes, but it kind of comes down to if they have it, they have it. You kind of just got to win. And in Magic, there's more chances for them to be able to do something on your turn. There's more things to be aware of in that sense. Because
there's more interaction. If you know, I know this deck, I know that they have Lightning Strike in their hand. And if I have this card I really want to play that's going to win me the game, I have to figure out how to pull that Lightning Strike out of their hand using something else. So what situation can I try to craft to get Lightning Strike out of their hand so I can then play my thing to win the game?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever it is. And that's just a simple answer. I mean, there's a great one that one of the top Magic the Gathering designers brought up years and years ago, that he was at a pro tour, and it was game 3, and the dude on turn 2 played some card. I can't remember what it was. And the guy knew there's only one way in his deck could beat that card. Only one way. He knew the exact one out it was, so he started playing exactly for that. And he had to get, I think it was the card that you play with Swans, where you discard lands to deal damage. Seismic Assault.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's what it's called. And he knew the only way he could win was he had to discard 10 lands to Seismic Assault. Seismic Assault was on the field, so he started playing everything he could possibly do, and he just started tossing gas. He knew this guy wasn't going to be able to kill him particularly quickly, so he just started tossing gas.
Let me just get 10 lands in my hand and just throw them at him.
Yeah, 7, whatever the number was. And no one in commentary, what is he doing? No one knew what he was doing. But this guy on turn 4 had figured out that the only way he was going to be able to win was by doing this. And that's kind of
interesting.
That's Magic the Gathering right there, dude.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that is as Magic the Gathering as you can get, and that's exactly what you want to be doing when you play Magic. Thinking, not just 10 steps ahead of your opponent, but 10 steps ahead of you. What am I going to be doing in 6 turns? So, I love Magic. So it makes me so happy to be able to play Magic again.
Yeah, right.
And in a cheap manner, because Magic the Gathering is an expensive hobby normally.
That is also true.
I have Magic decks that are worth over $1,000.
Yes.
I know you had decks that are worth even more than that.
No comment.
No comment, please, people. I do not want to talk about that. Nope. Next topic. Anything else you guys
topic.
My Legacy deck got rejected by a judge because I had the Volcanic Island that was hand painted by somebody that extended it to the edge of the deck. And
What?
There were 2 judges that run that, and the one guy was chill with it, but the guy that day was not chill with it. But I was able to borrow someone else's, but I was just like, are you kidding me?
I was going to say real quick that this has been great because, I played Magic the Gathering against you guys all the time, and I lose constantly. And I was like, man, I just don't know if Magic the Gathering is like my game. And then I get to play MTG, like Battle Arena or whatever the heck it's called. And I'm like, oh no, it's just like I need to play against other people that are bad to like boost my confidence. Like I'm not necessarily incompetent. It's just that you guys are much more knowledgeable about the decks you're using and stuff.
Experience gap.
Yeah.
Thomas and I play at a level just below where the pros play. That's not saying we're better than people. We're better than the grinders, but if we've been to a major Magic tournament and you did not do good. I did fine in it. It was a draft tournament.
I had bad luck.
But if we were playing constructed though, we would have been. I mean, and we had normal constructed decks, we would have been fine. I mean, you've won local tournaments before.
Oh, this is true.
In Legacy too, which is the second craziest format.
Yeah, well, I would consider it the craziest one. Unless no one touches vintage, dude. I don't touch that.
Yeah. So, okay, I think that's it. All we got on MTGA. I'm so excited to play more. I really wanted to go into open beta so I can actually start gathering my collection together. I hate that I'm going to lose everything, but it happens. We're testing it, making it better, and we're moving on to other medias. We have 3 topics here. I'm going to do a little bit different than the order we have it on our list here, and it got announced that Dungeons & Dragons is finally started to have different planes that you can play the game on. I mean, the standard plane is Faerun, which is the big one everybody knows. All the books are written off of. There's a bunch of different ones, and one of the ones they're bringing out, and there's going to be a whole book that comes out in November, is for Ravnica. For those of you that don't know why we're starting with this one, is because Ravnica is a plane in Magic the Gathering.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's kind of cool, actually.
And so Magic the Gathering, all the different sets take place in different planes of existence, and the main characters, the planeswalkers, can travel between them. It's really cool. Ravnica is the city of guilds. It is a fan favorite. I love Ravnica. I know Thomas loves Ravnica. Frola, you probably know what it is. But Ravnica,
I'm aware of it.
You're aware of it. It's held together by 10 different guilds, each of the 2 different color combinations. We don't have to go through them, but in Magic, it's WUBRG, white, blue, black, green, red. Red, green, sorry. Can't spell correctly. And it's the 2 different color combinations. So of those 5 ones, there's 10 different color combinations. You get red, white, blue, black. And each one represents a different guild that has a very different philosophy behind them and do different things. Like the green white and the green red is going to be very different, but they do share some similarities of loving nature. It's where the green comes in.
Nice.
This is fantastic for.
That's very fits with D&D kind of.
It very much with the D&D because there's all sorts. You can roll. You have built-in kind of ethos for all these different guilds you can make your character from. The guilds a lot of times are at odds and ends with each other. Sometimes they're allies, sometimes they're against each other. There are these huge, massive, sprawling cities, including these huge outdoor wildernesses. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. I mean, one of the guilds their home is in the sewers, and that's what they do. They're like just in the sewers, and they're just dirty hippies that love death.
I was very much an Is It fan myself.
They're just dirty death hippies. That'd be the Golgari. I'm quite a big fan of. So yeah, I mean, you just have everything. It's fantastic. I'm really excited to get more information about it. I may just buy it, even though I hate dungeon mastering, and just to read it because it sounds really cool. And I'd love to have a dungeon master who is as into Magic as I am and could run a fun Ravnica D&D game.
Is that
awesome.
a wink wink?
Nudge, nudge.
You don't have a time to do that, Thomas.
I don't at the time now. In the future, though, maybe that could be a thing.
Maybe one day. I don't have high hopes though. I love you, but I don't have high hopes. I know you actually do like dungeon mastering though. Which
I
is
actually
good.
like it, so we'll see. Maybe we'll see what happens.
We're in no huge rush though. So that's all I have on Ravnica as a D&D. As we get more information, we'll pass it along to you guys. Talk about the things we want to talk about.
I'm like, that's interesting that's other media. That's kind of a
It's
video
not-
game, just without the video part.
I literally consider it be only video games.
That's fair.
Everything, and then I really should probably switch it to like nerd culture stuff.
That makes sense.
It's probably the better terminology for it, but it gets the job done, and that's what matters. So, yeah, the next thing we have is the Clone Wars TV show's coming back.
Interesting.
I'm so excited.
We're taking a big risk here because we've brought up the illegal 2-letter word in our friend group in front of Thomas. Star Wars.
It's okay.
This is different, and it's kind of funny. Do you remember that meme
said Clone Wars.
Do you know that meme of the like guy holding the girl's hand and he's like turning and looking at the other girl? Somebody replaced the other girl with the main female character of Clone Wars, and then Rey's like holding his hand, like, what the hell?
What, Padme, or are we talking about the one Obi-Wan's trying to bang, or wants to bang and never got to?
His Padawan?
Oh, Ashoka. Sorry.
Yeah, Ashoka. Yeah,
How
like,
do
so
you-
she's walking by, and it was just supposed to be like this joke of like Star Wars is trying so hard with like the new 3, but like everybody's way more excited about the fact that they're bringing back Clone Wars.
Ashoka's a fantastic
Clone Wars
character.
is-
It's a blessing.
Maybe that's a redeeming thing. You know what? That's something they're doing right. I will say.
They're doing that literally to make the fans happy because of the blowback, because of all the stuff you hate.
Oh yes, that I agree with.
Because that show got canceled.
agree
They're
with
literally. Sorry, keep going.
Oh no, I agree with that. I think that's exactly what they're doing.
I'm bad at cutting people off. I
you're
apologize,
fine.
everybody. I'm
you're
gonna
good.
cry now. No, but they're actually apparently doing the final arc that they always wanted to do, and they're just now they're just gonna finally do it, which is dope. I'm excited. I haven't watched as much Clone Wars as I'd like. I started it. I gotta finish that up. I gotta finish up Rebels as well. Rebels.
I really need to watch it.
It's fantastic. Darth Vader, when he finally shows up a few seasons in, is so goddamn scary.
I'm so excited.
It's so scary. But
That
Clone
Vader
Wars
is a
coming back.
badass, actually. I think
He-
that Vader is a real badass. In the comics,
I mean-
dude, he's so dope.
Oh my
he's
god,
so
right?
good. Well, that's the thing we forget is when like Darth Vader first came out, like he was the most evil mofo on the planet. People fucking hated Darth Vader after Episode 4. And they're like, he's the worst, he's so terrible, well, he's like the best bad guy ever invented. And then when Episode 5 came out, and spoilers for Episode 5, and they found out he was Luke's father, even James Earl Jones, when he had to say the lines, didn't believe it. It was like a surprise to him. He's like, no, he's like, how are we gonna push this lie? This isn't real. And George had to like sit him down, like, no, he's Luke's father. That's what would have happened that's what happened before.
Did you hear the one thing about how when they're recording the scene, they actually even changed the line, so only Luke, I think only Mark Hamill and James Earl Jones actually knew it. Like the actor on set said instead, he said Obi-Wan is your father, because they didn't even want the cast to know.
Oh
So
yeah,
they were surprised in the theater. The only people that knew were Luke and James Earl Jones.
there was a
awesome.
few more people than that. The
Oh, yeah,
writer
it's
Lawrence
pretty cool.
Kasdan did, and I believe
Yeah.
so. What they did, if I remember correctly from the stories I always heard, was they did the whole scene. And they said he's gonna get the lines, so we get all the coverage, and they kicked out everybody. But it was George, the director, I want to say the cinematographer too, and Luke and Mark Hamill, and everyone got kicked off set, and they closed the set the fuck down.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
they
that.
go, yeah. So I know it was a few people, and they go, here's what's gonna go on. We're gonna read some lines to you. We want you to act as you would expect them to, and this is the scene we're doing. We just want to get your guys's, but we're kicking everybody off, and everyone's off set, and
That's cool.
that's when he found out. So like the first time they see it, it's like genuine shock on his face.
Oh wow! So I didn't know that part. That's cool.
It's so good.
That's at least the story I heard.
I like
It
that.
could-
I hope that's right.
That could be bullshit.
And again,
You know,
like
I like that
Mhm.
version.
regardless of
take-
your, oh, sorry, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say I hope that's right. I like that.
Regardless of your opinion of not Rebels, Rogue One, right? That's what that movie was called.
Oh yeah, Rogue One.
yeah.
Regardless of your opinion on that, like, it was so nice to finally see like Darth Vader like just absolutely open up a can of whoop ass, like
Oh yeah.
in the cinematic universe, because we hadn't
Yeah,
really
'cause he's never
seen
done
that
it
We've
before.
seen
yet.
it in the comics, but not like on screen.
Yeah,
No, and in Rebels he doesn't
I mean,
Rebels too,
in,
but never
live
in live action.
because just what like I thought I really liked that movie. Even if I did know that like everybody, you know, spoilers, but everybody should know by now, like everybody was gonna die. But like visually, that movie was just a roller coaster ride of like eye candy, and I really liked it.
I liked it. To be honest, I
That-
totally liked it.
It's a good Star Wars movie. The first half of that movie is a very mediocre Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
And then when they finally decide they're gonna go attack the Empire base, then it becomes a fantastic fucking movie.
yeah.
I'm
The
not,
second half of that movie's great.
despite popular belief, I am not anti new Star Wars. I'm only anti one of the new Star Wars.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just to clear the air a little. There's only
Yes,
one.
you-
There's only one circumstance that
I
Frustrated
know
me.
that you like whatchamacallit. What's episode 8? Not Last Jedi, what's the other one?
Oh, Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. I know you like Force
I
Awakens
was
better
fine
than
with Force
episode
Awakens.
2. Yeah, it's better than episode 2.
No, I was
The
fine
worst
with
Star
Force
Wars
Awakens.
the worst Star Wars movie.
Not the worst Star Wars movie.
You just I think episode 2 is the worst Star Wars movie.
Not in my personal opinion.
I know. But you at least like Force Awakens better than episode 2.
Oh,
Probably
I
the better.
I like
Do
Force
you like
Awakens
it?
better than episode 2 for sure.
Do you like it better than episode 1?
No.
Okay.
Episode one's a
Force
blessing on
Awakens
this
better than
planet.
episode 1?
Episode
I
1
don't
is
know.
terrible.
I
Episode
don't
one's
know.
the greatest
Oh,
Star Wars movie ever
episode
made.
one-
No
Phantom
wonder.
Menace,
Okay.
not
That
New
that
Hope.
explains a lot, Thomas. Right when he says Star Wars Episode 1 is a blessing on this planet, because he was also a big fan of The Last Jedi, and both of them have sequences in the middle that could have been more or less completely cut out, and you wouldn't have lost anything.
Hey, if we had gotten
Yes.
rid of the pod races, then we wouldn't have gotten the N64 pod race video game. I'm just saying, which is like
Hey,
the
that was
best
not
right.
racing game ever made.
That's
Also,
not-
when you
that's
said
not- that's not
episode
a good
1, my
reason.
mind went to New Hope. So like that's why that was the confusion there. So it's like,
Oh no.
yeah. So we were talking Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Yes.
Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is the pod racing scene that could have been cut down to about 5 minutes, and you wouldn't have lost anything.
Ah, it's such an awesome scene. And then
I mean, the pod racing scene by itself is
was
really,
kinda
really
dope.
freaking cool.
Yeah,
It's
it's dope.
just it
The
could have
whole
been completely cut
Padme
out and it wouldn't have
thing
mattered.
Was pretty long.
and
I
then
don't
this Star Wars Episode 2. I still really want to
Just
see
bad.
the one cut where they get rid of
Obi-
everything. Yeah, where they get rid of everything that involves Anakin and Padme and just leave only Obi-Wan, and it's apparently amazing.
It's like a fantastic, like noir, like spy and detective movie that ends in this huge, crazy battle.
It's so good.
Oh, if we're talking about the sand and all that stuff, then yeah, I might I might tie that for the worst Star Wars movie.
Yeah, episode 2 is really bad. You
It's
got
so
you probably haven't watched it in a long time. You should
Eight-
sit down and watch
8
that.
is
I
actually,
hate
as a
sand.
movie, 8 is kind of it's beautiful, it's well shot. I think
It's well
like
acted too.
as
I
a
think.
movie, I liked it. As a written piece of story that's supposed to fit into a larger structure, I think it was I give it a -5.
Negative.
That's fair.
Good.
That's fair. I have no
Give it a
problem. We
negative.
have no problem with that. The thing is that episode 2 is a mediocre Star Wars movie and a bad movie.
But it fits into Star Wars, and I'd rather have a bad movie that fits into
But
the
it
Star
should've- it
Wars
was sup-
canon than a good.
It was
movie
supposed to be Jar Jar,
destroys Star
though.
Wars
That
canon.
was supposed to be the big reveal. That it was Jar Jar. It was Jar Jar all along. It was Darth Jar Jar. Count
Oh.
Dooku should have never existed. Jar Jar was an evil motherfucker, but they got cold feet after episode 1. It would have
Dude,
been
it would
great.
have. They should have just balls out did that because then it would have been like, whoa, no wonder he was such a dumbass.
It was all one giant act, and you go back and you look at
God,
that
it would've
movie in
been
a
so
completely different
good.
light.
Darth Jar Jar, dude.
All right, we should probably go to the next thing.
Yes.
Fine.
I could talk about Star Wars for much longer than this podcast.
I know.
Anyways, we are at our last topic, our rotating hot pot.
Wait, no,
podcast.
you
What?
you ignored
Oh.
the thing I added.
I
Oh,
didn't
what's the
wanna-
thing that you had?
I didn't want to talk about that, but let's go.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
While we're on the fan hate train.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to be nice.
No. Like this
You
is
were
this
very
is
nice.
this is my hate train now, Thomas.
Okay, let's go for it. Go for
Because
it.
I was so like I
too, bro.
really thought that what's his face was gonna be a great Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Oh,
And
I
I'm still
like it.
convinced that he is. I think he's going to be the only saving grace of that film. But that whole film looks like a Netflix original.
Oh no.
I'm
Really?
not gonna lie. I gave so little shit. I didn't even watch the trailer.
Oh, dude, like the sharks. The beginning has this scene where like he's like supposed to be like adopted or whatever, or like even though I don't even think that was ever a part of his backstory. I think Aquaman was always just down in Atlantis. But anyway,
It's a badass.
yeah. And like, so they do this whole thing where like his dad was a fisherman that like had sex with the princess of,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And like, so he's been living on the surface for all this time. And he's like at an aquarium and like he controls a shark because this kid's bullying him or whatever. And the shark, like, even if you guys just watch the first couple of seconds, this shark
It's
is
actually really funny because
the
yeah, go ahead.
worst CGI. Like it looks like episode 1 of Star Wars.
Now, this is DC. They have lots of money. You can make a not shitty CGI shark. If you can't make a CGI shark that doesn't look like shit, don't make a CGI shark.
Whenever the
It's
shark,
not that hard.
whenever the shark from Jaws, a movie that was made forever
Before we were
ago,
born,
yeah.
before all of us were born.
Whenever your shark in your movie about fish
Looks worse than
looks worse than Jaws, you really need to fire your entire like art team. Like
It's like, I get that you guys can't use Disney, so that means you can't use ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, the best people.
yeah.
But
Sure,
there's gotta be other
there's
people that are
still
okay.
people comparable. Oh,
Yeah,
they're
I
not
mean,
the only game in town.
Yeah.
But
they're
what's
not.
funny-
There's comparable. I mean, they're the best, but
What's
But
funny
there's-
is
yeah.
the only thing that I've seen about this movie is the poster and how people were showing that they used the Getty Images shark and mirror imaged it and put it right in the thing, right in the on
Really?
the poster, like right next to him. It's literally just like the first result or something of the Getty
Oh,
Images
no.
shark.
I'll
always-
turn.
Oh,
Mhm,
I was
keep
just
going.
going to say I always worry about that whenever I'm working on posters.
What's funny though is like that's the purpose of stock images. It was
Yeah.
just, and I actually was fine with it. It looked cool, but then now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't this. Maybe this is a bad thing.
So
Yeah.
alternatively, I know Thomas and I watched it. Did you see the Shazam trailer?
Oh,
Dude, I
I
like
did.
that.
It looks so good. It looks hilarious. That's I think the direction that DC needs to do at this point in order to save themselves is like get rid of all the serious crap. Like just we need to focus on like being funny and cheeky and like rebuilding this franchise for them.
You can let Batman be dark and serious. Everyone else can be and maybe even a little bit of Superman be serious. Everyone else can be a little silly. That's why the Joker exists. Batman's serious, so all of his villains are ridiculous. and
Yeah,
over
like the
top.
Riddler.
Yeah.
Because he's so serious. The other ones have more serious enemies, at least from my understanding, and therefore the main characters can be better. Can be a little more snarky.
Yes,
Mhm.
and that's the way it should
Or-
be.
Or go find your weird heroes nobody knows about, like
Mm.
Marvel did, because they couldn't use the X-Men.
Was
I
Moon?
like Shazam. I don't know anything about Shazam, but I'm starting to think he's a fun character.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a really tragic character. There's
Oh, really?
that's kind of that's the funniest part for me is that like DC does like if you read the comics they do a really good job with like Dark and Moody, which is why they tried to bring it in their cinematic universe, but like
Nobody
the
wants to
Dark
see
and
it.
well the Dark and Moody only works in the comics because you have all of this like great like cheeky back thing. So whenever something bad happens to the person that's making you laugh, it makes you feel really bad and like you want to resolve, but they skip all of that and just
You
go
don't get
straight.
the build up and the character development and all that stuff.
Yeah, and like so I mean, spoiler alerts for comic book whatever. It's an old comic, I think at this point. It was like mid 2000s, I think. But like something happens and like Billy like straight up sees people die, like a bunch of people die, and is like freaking out and he's, Shazam, and Superman's confused and like, why are you like freaking out? Like this is just, it sucks, but like that's just how
Is
it is.
Billy the sidekick or Billy Shazam?
No, Billy is Shazam. And
Damn,
then
Shazam.
he transitions back into being Billy, and Superman immediately gets like really serious and is like, who did this to you? And like goes and just tears the council. That's the other weird thing is like in the
Council of
in
Heroes
the
or something?
comics there's like a Shazam council. Like it's a bunch of people, if I remember correctly, that like bestowed the power upon Billy.
Interesting.
It's weird that it's just one guy for the thing, but whatever.
We don't
yeah,
know that.
and,
We
like-
know the person's voice.
Yeah, Superman finds them and like tears into them about how could they, like he's a child. It's really good.
Do they
Don't
normally
fuck,
find
don't
the
fuck,
child?
don't fuck with Superman. Don't. I mean, you can fuck with him a little bit, but you
That's
can't
rule
can't
number
put
one.
you can't put Superman over the line. That's when he murders the Joker. Just don't. Just like
Or
don't cross the
Batman
line.
over the line and he murders the Joker in Killing Joke.
No, he never. He doesn't murder the Joker in the Killing Joke. At the end of the Killing Joke, they have
I
their
think
big
that's
fight.
the joke.
No.
That's
The joke that
twist, right? Or
no. I've watched it. So he says this joke at the end that like no one will ever love them, something like that. And Batman sits there and it's like a really dry joke and he just starts laughing because it describes him perfectly. And the Joker starts laughing because it describes him perfectly. And the joke is that they're the same character.
Oh, they're
That's
the
what I
same
was
person.
got it. And then he takes them. They're basically the same person. They just are coming at it from different angles.
They're-
See,
both
what
the
I
same.
read
They're
from that
both
was
just
the
as
subtext
fucked
was
up
that
people.
he actually murdered him in that moment, and that was the twist.
There is-
I read it that he murdered him, or he strangled him there, or something like that, and then like it was showing it from like Batman went insane. But I don't know. It's been a while.
Maybe.
But I
There-
mean, it's different. There's no answer. That's the thing. There's no answer.
There's a moment in the comics where we do get a definitive moment where Batman does kill the Joker. And
Really?
yeah, it's because the Joker finds out about Lois Lane, right? That's Superman's.
Yeah, but Superman
yeah.
kills him.
No, there's
Oh, yeah.
two different alternate versions of that story.
Oh.
There's one where Superman shows up and just like shoves his entire hand through the Joker's chest. And then there's an alternate version where they save Lois and Superman's like, I'll take the Joker into custody. Like, you shouldn't be with him right now, Bruce, or Batman. And Batman's like, no, like, it's fine. Like, I'll take him. And they're driving together, and the Joker's talking about like all of these things, like, oh man, like once I get back out of prison, though, like I look forward to all of the things that I'm going to do to like Superman and Lois Lane again. That was fun. And then whenever she has her kid, I can't wait to do things with their kid too. And Batman just like looks over and is like, my name is Bruce Wayne, or like something like that. Like, and the Joker's like, what? No, you can't tell me that. That ruins all the fun. Like, why would you do that? And then Batman just immediately snaps his neck in the car.
Oh, he
And
tells
then-
him who he is. And...
Yeah, he tells him who he is and then kills him. And then he goes to the police station and is like, my name is Bruce Wayne and I just committed a crime.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Which alternate universe is that one?
I don't remember, but
I don't know
like
either, but
it's
it
good.
seems like it
It's a
would
good
be
one.
like. Is that like one of those like alternate timeline things or something, or?
Yeah, I think it was like one of those things, more of like a what if. It wasn't so much of canon, I don't think.
It's kind of like, I like that though. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it was a neat concept. All right, but yeah, we can be done with
Okay.
media now.
Now we have to move on to the hot pot topic. Luckily, I think it's a bit of a shorter topic this week.
Hot
So
topic.
we are at how far? Still not quite an hour yet, about 50 minutes. So, yeah, are you guys ready for it? Hot pot topic. We're talking about LED lights and computers because
Because
Andrew and I have been
want
going.
to.
Because he wants to. We've been going back and forth on this all fucking week. I say LED lights are wonderful when used in moderation in a home setting, not in an office setting. This
What
is
are we
not
talking
about office settings.
specifically? A specific use. Like
That's
as
okay,
lighting
for
for
me.
the room?
No.
No.
Only
Like,
for computer parts, like for keyboards, mice,
fans.
yeah, your fans inside of your computer.
Uh-huh.
Those things very specifically. And my mentality is, if it's not a power button, there's no reason it should light up. If it doesn't actually tell me something that's currently happening with my computer, there's no reason for it to be lit. Like, for instance, caps lock lighting up, that makes perfect sense. The caps lock's on, lights up a little light. Cool, got it. Why does my keyboard need to do a crazy rainbow thing underneath my keys? And
There's two things that you said there that I'm just gonna cut you off right now.
okay,
Why does your keyboard quote need to do that, and also things that are required? And neither of those things are true, but preference, man. You just because you like it. Like computers those crazy light keyboard lights because it matches my crazy room lights.
but whenever that's the standard, and whenever it is very difficult, and it is, whenever it's very difficult to find keyboard and mice that don't light up, or
I found a
They turn
mechanical. I found a mechanical keyboard with MX Cherry red switches in about 30 seconds, without LEDs.
which is great, but you don't have a lot of options. There still just aren't very many, and it's frustrating to me.
The high-end ones, you can just turn off the.
But is it a
turn off.
physical switch?
Well, mine's just a button. You just press it, and it cycles through the brightness, and one brightness is 0.
Because
I just turned mine off on my keyboard. Now it's back on. Now it's off. Oh wait. Now it's off.
Mine
Now it's off.
are on anytime as soon as I
Now
turn
it's
on my
off.
computer,
Now it's on.
they're on.
Now it's on.
Even my
it's
backup
off.
keyboard has a little switch to turn them off, or button to turn them off, rather.
Yes, but why does it have to be on? Like,
Well,
why?
it started with laptop keyboards because you might be typing in the dark.
And I get that. That makes sense.
And that was a practical function. And they're like, hey, what if we bling it out?
Like, I think that it needs. Well, and then also my whole issue with the other stuff. We'll get to that later.
What's the other stuff? Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, yeah. But like right now, in order to have my computer, not be lit up, I can't turn off my mouse, unfortunately, which is frustrating. That light's always on.
That's about standard though, except for when your computer's off.
Yeah, but again, why? Why does my mouse need a light on it? That especially doesn't make sense.
You kind of have a shitty mouse. That mouse needs to be replaced. When I was playing Overwatch on your computer, not on your account.
Did it fix where you press the DPI button?
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you move it too fast, it doesn't even register those movements. It like skips pixels or something. And I tried the different DPIs and everything.
Oh, that's weird. But yeah, I don't understand why it needs a light on it that I can't turn off. It just drives me crazy. And the same with my keyboard. I can turn off my light. I can make it go to dark. But if I turn off my computer, then next time I turn it back on, it's going to be lit up again.
Huh.
I think it's because you have a shitty keyboard.
I hope so, because it truly drives me crazy.
The keyboard felt kind of nice. I like the keys on it.
And but this extends into a further thing for me is that, and I was explaining this to you, Matt, that I think that the reason why this makes me so mad is because so many things that are marketed towards gamers, for some reason, are designed almost to look like cars. Like,
Yeah,
the
like,
chairs
I know what you're
have,
talking about.
like the chairs have
The
racing
racing
strength,
chairs.
and
That's
like,
because I can't afford a Lambo, but I can afford a nice computer.
yeah,
Like, you get a chair.
yeah. But all I mean is like we could be going in such a better idea of like making things look elegant and nice, like something you'd actually want sitting at like a table in your room that looks pretty
But I want a Lambo.
in your room, in your bedroom. That's what you want, a Lambo in your bedroom.
I want to be a 12-year-old, and I want to throw in my Oculus Rift on a racing game and pretend I'm driving a Lambo in my Lambo chair.
You know
I'm
what?
also a big
I'm not very
I'm also a
opposed to
big fat I'm also a big fat fatty and destroyed like sleek, like modern, beautiful looking chairs. Just they get crushed in 6 months.
But like just
that. Oh, you're talking
everything.
about Matt's chair specifically?
Yeah, my chair's so fucking.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Just in general, I don't understand. Like, I do like the kind of military-esque looking like cases and things like that. Whenever they try to go for like that futuristic sort of look, but
I'll
don't
agree
know.
with that. I will agree with it that they don't. That keyboard design seems to be stuck in like the 70s, 80s, where it's lots of big, bright, flashy stuff, and we don't get a lot of the nice, modern, sleek designs. Now, there are things you're able to do. If you get a lot of the mini mechanical keyboards, a lot of those are either just backlit, so you can see the space between the keys and see the key buttons a bit better, or they're no LEDs at all.
yeah,
For we're talking keyboard in particular. For mice, I'm not exactly sure why, but I think part of the reason why the LEDs are so prevalent is because you want people to know, hey, look, I'm a gamer. There's such a subculture of gamers out there that they feel oppressed and need to show off that they're gamers. And it's a holdover, I think, really from the late 90s, early 2000s, before it was being a gamer was as accepted as it is nowadays, where it was like your own little kind of fuck you, where when someone would walk into your room and you're a PC gamer and they go, oh man, look at you, your keyboard lights up and your mouse lights up. I've never seen that before, and your computer case does. Like, everything I have at home is so boring and standard, just like everything else. And I think it's really just a holdover from those older times where it was like a point of conversation in a way, like, look how cool I am, look how different I am for where it is. And I just don't think we've ever really kind of graduated from past being 13-year-olds trying to impress their friends.
fair,
Yeah, that's possible.
fair.
At least that's just, I mean, I'm pulling it completely out of my ass, but I just that
Oh,
No,
okay,
that's a
yeah.
fair point.
kind of where I see it.
I still hate it, but like
Okay,
that's at
that's
least a
fine.
fair point.
I have no problem. Like honestly, if I need to have, the thing is, when I turn my keyboard completely off, right, the lights off, as I have it right now, I don't like that. I like having the bit of light, the bit of backlight on my keyboard, so I can kind of see the keys and see the separation of the keys a bit better. I know I'm not looking down when I type by any stretch of imagination, but just there's something about it where when it's not backlit, whether it's an LED, like colors, even just like a soft white light to it, it just feels kind of dead, is the best way to put it.
Interesting.
And it feels sterile, and it doesn't feel fun. And I mean, I'm using this and I'm playing these for it to be fun. My keyboard I bought for work has no LED, has no backlighting, because it's for work and it's not supposed to be fun. But this is supposed to be fun, and I want to look at it and be like, ha ha ha. When I use that, I'm having fun. Maybe I'm watching porn. Maybe I'm playing WoW.
Oh, God.
Maybe those are the same things for me.
Probably.
Hey, yeah.
That sounds like-
depends
I
on
don't
the
judge, though.
server. Depends on
Did I
the
ever tell you guys the story that I know Thomas might have heard? Have I ever told you the story about the time Jason convinced me to watch a WoW video and that it wasn't WoW porn?
And then it was.
And then it was WoW porn. He goes, Matt, I found this really cool fan film that they made using in-game assets. It's like, I think you really like it. Like, it's really well done. It's really fun. I just finished watching it. Like, if I send it over to you, will you watch it? And I go, it's not porn, right? Because I know Jason, and it's always porn with Jason. He's playing a game called Cunt Wars right now. Yeah, found on Steam. Not joking about that.
You can actually get that on Steam.
That's a real game.
Not that I'm familiar with the game.
I don't think that's the name of it on
I'm
Steam.
looking it up
They
right now.
named it something else, so you can get it on Steam. But when you're in all the menus, it's called that. It's like a card battle game. It's like
Huh.
He was telling me about it. So like, it's not porn, right? He's like, yeah, look, I'll send you the file. You know, if you don't feel like opening it, I look at it and it's just like Wow Machinima and like someone's name. I was like, oh, okay, this seems like okay. It's like a pretty big file. It's like an hour and a half. Oh, someone put some real good work into it. Open it up. This is all in-game assets. This looks pretty nice. Immediately fucking. And it wasn't even like nice. It was like rapey fucking too. And I was like, no, God fucking damn it, Jason.
That's amazing.
I mean,
Sounds
Froel
like-
and I got
sounds
caught.
like you got-
Froel and I got caught by the Discord dick earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the meme that he posted when we clicked on it and it was a dick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can't see it because it's the same color as the background.
Exactly, and you click on it to open to make it bigger, and you go, "Oh, that's a dick." It's like he's
None of
stuck.
us use the light theme.
It's like he's still a freshman in college, and he's changing everybody's home. What's it called their home buttons to send you to. Oh man, what was the one everyone sent us to in college?
Rickrolls?
What?
Like a Rickroll?
Yeah, the one my buddy in college, Leon, used to always do was he would send us to the one where it's the dude's ood is riding another dude, but he's just spinning in a circle. I can't remember what it's called. It's been so long.
Meat spin?
Meat spin. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
He'd always change your homepage to meat spin.
I was gonna
left
hit
your
with
thing
Tub
open.
Girl.
Ooh, what's that?
No.
eh.
Tub Girl's bad. That's what Tub Girl is. Do not look up Tub Girl. Don't. Just don't.
I mean, if you're over 18, you can. We don't recommend it, but you can.
You can.
If you're
I mean,
under
if
18,
you
stay
hate your
away.
life.
If you're under 18, stay away. When you turn 18, it's okay to masturbate. Your dick won't fall off anymore. Until 18, though, we got a proud family values here. I mean, not really, but
Your dick will still fall off.
I think that's a good place for the hot topic.
it's the flying dick.
So
topic
anyway,
today.
in conclusion, LEDs are the devil.
LEDs are
Okay,
fantastic to
so
suck a dick.
we somehow LED lights of all topics is what led to meat spin. There's got to be it there. Do we have a poll? I don't know.
So let us know if you love LEDs or if you don't love LEDs.
And if you don't love LEDs, you like meat spin?
And if you do love LEDs,
No,
then
you
you
can't say
love
that, Thomas,
Tub Girl.
because
No, I'm just kidding.
There are
I'm just kidding.
definitely people who like meat spin. It's just not, me and my friend group, we weren't into that. There are people that are into that. That's good for them.
I'm just
They may
kidding. I
like
don't even-
or dislike LEDs.
Nobody's into Tub Girl, and if you are into Tub Girl, you just should
You're a
probably
filthy-
go
you're-
to a therapist.
You're a filthy heathen.
Don't look up Tub Girl. Okay, we
I'm
close out
definitely-
here.
Close out here. Okay, we'll see everybody next week. Like I said, these post every Friday. We have content coming out just about every single day, Monday through Friday. We have Diablo going right now. We have Dark Souls going right now. I'm recording some MTGA. I know, Frola, you recorded some Life is Strange
Yep.
with your girlfriend.
What?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we got
Oh, there we
content.
go.
The content's coming. If you guys like
Wait.
these videos, subscribe. What are you saying?
Was she playing it? Were you playing? You've already seen the ending.
She's
I think.
playing.
You've already played through it. Oh, that's
No, I
fine.
haven't
You've
beaten
already
it yet.
seen Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
This is perfect.
That's fun.
So,
Yeah.
if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave us constructive criticism. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get better, trying to find our voice. And the best way to do that is to get constructive feedback from you guys. Otherwise, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Be happy. We'll see you guys next time. I'd give you the happiness finger guns I've been doing, but no one can see this anyways. So you're getting them. You're getting the happiness finger guns.
Shooting happiness right at you.
I know, but you can't see them. Until next time, we're Lazy Octopus Gaming. I'm Matt.
That's Frola.
I'm Frola. I didn't realize I was
Uh,
going second.
You can do me.
And then
and-
that's Thomas.
Yay!
Woo! We'll see you guys
Yay!
next time, and
See you.
have a lazy day. Bye.